ChamberTron-RE is a rack extension for Reason users and features sounds from the illustrious Chamberlin Tape Replay instruments. For those of you unfamiliar with the Chamberlin, the story is fascinating and starts with a California-based inventor, Harry Chamberlin, back in the late 1940s, who, while recording himself playing an organ, hit upon the idea of recording chromatic tones from a variety of instruments and replaying these recordings by placing the appropriate piece of tape under a piano-type keyboard. Sound familiar? Well, it should do, because after he'd created a commercial instrument, Harry Chamberlin employed a salesman who, frustrated by a number of reliability issues with the instrument, secretly boarded a boat to the UK together with two dual-manual Chamberlin Music Master 600 keyboards. And on arrival in the UK, he made contact with a company from Birmingham who made matched tape heads and eventually sold this company the design. The unsuspecting company then refined it and subsequently released an almost identical instrument to the Chamberlin, but this time it was called a Mellotron. When Harry Chamberlin eventually found out, naturally he wasn't best pleased and flew to the UK to try and reach a settlement with the directors behind the Mellotron company. Part of the settlement involved the sharing of one sound, the famous Three Violins. But all other sounds differ markedly between the Mellotron and the Chamberlin. Essentially, because Harry wasn't a fan of rock and roll, the Chamberlin sounds have a more natural vibrato about them. Additionally, because Harry used Neumann microphones for many Chamberlin recordings, this resulted in a more open tone. Some say this contributes to the Chamberlin sounding more natural and more hi-fi than the Mellotron, but the truth is both the Mellotron and the Chamberlin instruments have such a sublime character they are both equally valid when it comes to conjuring up nostalgic, wistful and evocative tones from years gone by. As with the Mellotron, each note lasts approximately 8 seconds. The key range is limited to 35 notes, and importantly, there are no loops. Like the Mellotron, the Chamberlin sounds have featured on a wealth of classic tracks thanks to artists including David Bowie, Three Dog Night, Todd Rundgren, Mike Pinder, The Letterman, Mitchell Froom, XTC, Patrick Warren, Stevie Wonder and even Kanye West. Although best of all for us is probably iMonster's recent Bright Sparks album, which dedicates 2 tracks to Harry's work. In fact, in a recent conversation with Andy Partridge from XTC, he told us, "We got to use Todd Rundgren's Chamberlin while recording the Skylarking album, although we had to clean a nest of mice out from it first." Developed in conjunction with the original UK Mellotron makers, Streetly Electronics, the sounds on offer are a combination of Streetly's coveted collection, plus recordings from our own single manual Chamberlin M1 and a giant and incredibly rare 4-manual Chamberlin M4. Essentially, our aim with this rack extension has been to provide you with the best 35 notes from 35 tape banks from both companies, all within an easy-to-use instrument. ChamberTron-RE comes with a wealth of patches, and via ChamberTron-RE's dual layer feature you can mix and match the sounds to create your own hybrid retro Chamberlin patches. Alternatively, if you want to stray outside pure Chamberlin territory, the multitude of instrument tape banks available, coupled with the instrument's powerful synth engine, plus global delay and spring reverb, makes creating personal and unique tones a cinch.